probably still get a shirt. Okay. He doesn't need to have one, but he might want one.
Okay. I have to buy it for him if he wants it.
No, you don't have to. It's a donation.
Oh, okay. Well,
I just have some questions about All right, guys, come on in, grab your stuff. So all that is needed is check your name so that I know you're here. Grab one of the meeting notes and come and sit down, and we'll get started. Hi, Shai. It is afternoon. My. If you're on live stream, we're going to get started pretty soon. Thank you for your patience. I'm going to make all of you in the back move forward. Come forward. Mangums, I feel like you should already know this since you tell your youth it all the time. I expect front row. Thanks, Michelle. Yes, way to go. Well, I'm going to start. Carissa, are you coming in? So Carissa, Kotluck, and I are doing Keepers of the Kingdom VBS this year, and we're so excited that you guys are here with us. Come on up. This is a new curriculum for us this year, so we're really excited to try it out and see how we like it. We will be those who haven't been to our VBS before. We do it in a little bit of a different style, I think, than some VBSs. So we're going to go through and we're going to explain that process to you so you kind of know what's happening. Not kind of, so that you know what's happening. And one of those is we have 4 color groups. So we have green, red, purple, and blue, I think. And each of those has 4 names, like knightly names that we came up with that were really fun. So each of those also goes with an animal, so it corresponds with like a fox, a horse, like a horses are, yeah, like a falcon. Oh, I guess they're on the walls. a falcon, yeah, a falcon, a fox, a lion, or I think we did a lion instead of a dragon, and then a horse, yeah. So like for the horses, we did noble steeds were their names. So they have cool names, each of them. And we also have rotations. So in your packet, I gave you a rotation chart so that if you can flip to that, it kind of shows you what your rotation chart will look like. If you're online, I will be sending meeting notes at the end of the live stream, so you'll get this. This is kind of what the overall rotation is going to look like. So each color all of the colors will be in here. We'll do an opening, and our lovely Brock is going to do a skit with some others this year. We're really excited to have him back. And then after that, you all break into stations. So for instance, green is on Monday is going to start at Kieran's Crafts. And this is also science. I should have put crafts and science. I apologize. So crafts and science is where green would start. And then next rotation at 10, they would go to Griffin Games and so on and so forth. So this is just kind of an overall rotation chart. There will not be an empty slot this year. So in the past, we had a rotation where it was free and no kids were at your station. So if you are a station lead or a station helper, you will not have a break station this year, or a break rotation, sorry. And what this means is if you're going to take breaks, just make sure you rotate people and take breaks at different times. And then let's see here. So out on the table, I have a piece of paper that says Remind. And Remind is an app that has a way for me to be able to text all of you at one time. This is an awesome way for me to get information out if there's something happening that particular day, or if for whatever reason randomly we have to cancel VBS, or if it's a coffee day and I'm just reminding you come early so you can order your coffee, or if we have an emergency and I need to text you all at the same time for an emergency. So this is a really important thing for you to do. So out there, please make sure you get on our Remind app. I think that I was going to also say for our rotations, during the opening and closing, we will be doing introducing the animal of the day. We also do our theme of the day, so whatever that theme is, whether that's the breastplate or the sword or whatever it may be. And then we also talk a little bit about where we're going to be raising our money, offering, where that's going to be going. So this year, our offering is going to be going to our Jumpa program downstairs. So we have in our Sunday school program, we have something called Jumpa, and that is a school in Cambodia that is 2 of our missionaries from Mountain View Community Church, and they have an awesome program where the kids in that community get to come to school and not only get an education, but also learn about Jesus. And so that is also going to be introduced at opening so that the kids can see where the money is going to be going for our offering this year. And we'll also keep track of that throughout the week as well. On Monday morning, we are going to be having, so that'll be the 26th, this coming Monday, at 8:30, we're going to have a meeting to just basically touch base before we start the week, and also anybody that maybe wasn't here and I need to talk to or remind about a certain thing, whatever it may be. It's just a touch base time before we start our week, and also to pray together, because it's really important to pray before we just want to invite God to be part of our program, you know? And that's the whole reason that we're doing it. And you know what? I didn't even pray before this meeting. Oh my goodness. You guys have to forgive me. I'm a little bit tired. We've been doing a lot of decorating. So if we could pause just for a second, I'm going to pray. Dear Lord, please forgive me. My head is really foggy right now. I pray that you would just give me the words to say tonight, that training would go smoothly, and that everything, all questions would be answered, that we would be able to serve you and bring you glory throughout this next week. It's not about the decorations, even though they're cool. It's not about being awesome on stage with the music or the skits. It's not about making the coolest craft. It's all about you, Lord. It's all about sharing the gospel. It's all about loving on these kids, creating relationships with them. So I just pray that you would fill this room, that you would fill our hearts, that you would prepare us for next week, and that we would keep you centered in everything that we do. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thank you. So, yes, on Monday morning we're going to have a meeting, and it'll just basically remind us of a lot of different important things, and also just to talk about our drop-off and pickup situation, because sometimes that can get a little crazy on Monday morning, so it doesn't hurt to touch base before that time. I'm working with Max to try to figure out when coffee is going to be, but most likely Wednesday morning is when we're going to be doing our coffee morning. So the coffee stand will be open, and Max will be taking orders, and you'll write down your order, and then he will deliver. We will have people deliver that to you. And hopefully if you get here early enough and get your order in early enough, he can just give it to you when you're out in the parking lot waiting for your kids, or if you're at your station. 1 drink per person, please. And it is on us. Any additional drinks would be on you. So the promo video we are going to skip, because I think that it is more important for us to kind of go over our stuff as church, because they don't have a really great promo video. If you want to see their little promo video, you can go to Answers in Genesis and look up Keepers of the Kingdom. It has a tiny little video, so you can look that up if you'd like to. The discipline is where we're going to go to next. We have a 3 count, and this is basically all church related. This isn't just VBS. So our 3 count is when I always use Tommy because I don't know any kids named Tommy. So I use Tommy as my example name. But if Tommy is continuously hitting his friend, then you go over to Tommy and you say, okay, this is a 1 count. You really need to stop him. We've already talked about this, and you're continuing to do this. So then after he's gotten a 1 count, you tell those who are in your group, so that if they also get on Tommy for hitting, then they already know he has a 1 count for that thing, not an additional thing. So like if he goes and he does something else, a different discipline, then it wouldn't add a 2 count. It would be another 1 count. So unless it's hitting, which is what he's getting a 1 count for, you wouldn't add a second one. The 2 count then would be if he continues to hit his friend, then he's going to have a timeout with us at the registration table. And what this does is it kind of resets the child and realizes, oh, okay, I really should not have been doing this. It probably distracts them a little bit, and they're like, okay, now I want to go back. We haven't often had a 3 count. So the 3 count is if they have to come back to the registration table because they're continuing to hit their friend, then we then talk to the parent and decide what the next action will be. Most of the time that's the parent will come and pick up that child. I do want to emphasize, I know that it's written here, but I do want to emphasize the fact that we're doing positive reinforcement. A lot of you already know what this is, but if you don't, what it is you want to enforce what you do see. So if there's something great that they're doing, you want to reward them for that behavior rather than always saying, no, stop doing this, or no, stop doing that. So sometimes this is really hard to do, especially if there's a child that continues to do naughty things. But I really want you to remember that we're not here for a whole bunch of good children. That's not the goal of VBS, for them to come out well-behaved and listening. The whole point of VBS is to reach the unreached. So we want kids here that are struggling. We want kids that maybe are having behavior issues because maybe they need Jesus. So that's the point of VBS. So remember, it's not all about their behavior. It's also about them meeting Jesus here. So If you see Tommy doing a good thing, maybe say, "That is awesome, Tommy, way to go," instead of always telling him, "No, stop doing that, stop hitting your friend, blah, 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 blah." So, positive reinforcement. Out there, I'm just cruising through this, we're doing great. Out there on the table, there was the list that you were supposed to check in on, and then there was also another list that looked very similar that had a whole bunch of pink little tabs on it, and if your name was highlighted in yellow, it means you still have some paperwork that you need to fill out, and all the paperwork was in piles below it. So your name should be on a sticky note below those papers if you still need paperwork. This is very important because if you do not get your paperwork filled out by Friday, then we can't have you with our kids. This is something for our safety, for our kids, and also especially because there are some people here that don't go to Mountain View, and it's really awesome to have volunteers from other churches and other places, but we want to make sure that we know the people who are coming in and spending time with our kids. So even though you may be an awesome person, I still need you to do the paperwork so that we have that, because if you're wearing a shirt that has maroon on it, this tells parents that you've gone through that process, and I can't put one of these on you unless you have gone through that process. The child safety and protection sheet is part of that. So if you are marked off as already filled out the paperwork, then you've already seen our policy. But the child safety policy is also on that list of paperwork to fill out. Oh my goodness, I did not change the outreach part, so I apologize. So the outreach part that says Christy Hildebrand is supposed to be Jumpa, so I apologize. Please write, if you have a pen, Jumpah. And that is in Cambodia. All right, so as of right now, we have 106 kids registered, which is sweet. That is a great number of kids. We will be putting them into groups. If you are a group leader and you're waiting to know what group you're going to be a part of, we will be sending out those lists either Friday night or on Saturday. So I just want you guys to know that Friday, we spend a whole long time putting all the kids into groups, getting your guys' bags ready. That's basically all our registration day. So that's when we're going to be doing that and finalizing what groups you are in, and then we will send those out to you directly. In regards to groups, we have these handy dandy umbrellas. So you will each get an umbrella of your color, and you will all get a bag, and you will all get, in that bag is going to be a whole bunch of different things. So like you'll have some decision cards that look like this for any kids who decide to follow Jesus. You will have your rotation chart. So tired. Sorry. Rotation chart in there. It will have all the days, not just Monday. Oh, yep. Okay. It will also have your kids' name tags in there, and they will have the kids' names on them. It'll have the kids' shirts in there and allergy bracelets. So it's very important that when you get here, and if you're a leader, you get those items, and you get your own name tag. And if you're not here and you're on live stream, please make sure you get here early before 8:30, because we're having our meeting at 8:30. I will be here at 8, so sometime before that, come and get your shirt if you're not here physically to pick it up tonight. And then you will go out, and we will have our pickup. Thank you. Oh my goodness, I apologize. Our pickup time, and there will be a whole bunch of cones all lined up out there on the lines, and each cone will have a particular animal that corresponds with whatever group you're in. And there will be colors with those animals to determine what color of that animal. So for instance, it may have a green border and a picture of a fox. So if you are the green, Red Rascals? No, what was it? Feisty Foxes? Something like that. Anyways, yeah. If you're in the green and you're the fox group, that's the one that you're going to be looking for. And there's only one of the color and animal combined. So you will go out to that cone, and people are going to be driving around to drop off their children, and they will drop their children off right at your cone, and you can introduce yourself. And Mondays are always crazier than the rest of the days because that's the day that they're meeting you for the first time. So a lot of parents are a little bit slower in the drop-off process than they will be the rest of the days, where they're just like, okay, drop off the kid, now I'm going to pick up the kid. So Mondays are a little bit slower. So be patient. They know what group color you are by your umbrella. So even though it's not raining, we're going to have you put up your umbrella so that they know what color group you are in. And it will make more sense when you see it out there. But as of right now, is there any questions with the drop-off part? All right, we're going to pretend. We're going to pretend really quick. All right, so Carissa's one of my kids in my group. She just got dropped off. I said, hi, Mom. Nice to meet you. I'm Amanda. We're so excited to have you here today. Or your kid here today, not you. We're so excited to have your kid here today. We have so much fun stuff planned. They dropped them off. So now Carissa's here, but she doesn't have a shirt. She doesn't have a name tag. Where is it? It's in your bag. So you're going to find Carissa's name tag. You're going to find Carissa's shirt. You're going to give it to her, and she's going to put it on. Also, they're going to be all rubber banded together, and if Carissa has an allergy, she's going to also have an allergy tag rubber banded to her stuff. This is very important. We want to make sure that gets on the child. And you're going to have to keep track of this as a leader, because what's wonderful about these little tags is they don't appear the next day on the child. They disappear. So if Carissa comes back the next day and she doesn't have that band on, you're still responsible to know that Carissa has an allergy. And the way that you know that is you will have an allergy list in your bag that you need to check every day, because they don't have the physical reminder on their wrist. So make sure. We do a really good job at putting a lot of allergies together, so that if you have a gluten allergy, a lot of times you'll have multiple gluten allergies in your group. And this is so that it's easier to organize the snacks when we're divvying up the snacks. So that's why we did that. Let's see, what else, Carissa? What else do you need? Thank you. Staff parking. So since we're going to be doing the drop-off process in this front parking lot, the gravel parking lot on the right-hand side is where staff will be parking. So the left-hand gravel side is going to be where parents can park if they want to come in and they have another question, or if they actually want to meet you a little bit more than just a drop-off situation. So if that's the case, we have a little area for parent parking. All the rest of the gravel parking is for you guys to park. That was a great reminder. Thank you so much. So yeah, that's a little bit of how the drop-off process works. This is also, if I remember anything that I didn't tell you guys, this is why Monday morning meetings are so awesome. All right. Do you want to talk about rotations?
Okay, so do we have a person here, Amanda? Do we have a person here?
No, not yet.
We're still looking for one? Okay, so we have 4 rotations, and as Amanda pointed out earlier, you have a copy of the rotation schedule. So currently we're still looking for 1 station leader, but the stations are, the first one is Truth Talks. That is going to be Andrea and Amber are going to be leading that. It's going to be out in the youth room. And that's really the lesson of the day. So it's where they're going to hear the Bible story. They're going to work on their verse. And Amber and Andrea have been working hard on that. So that's going to be a really engaging, section of the program, an engaging rotation for the kids. The next one is going to be the crafts and science station. So those two are combined. It's going to be a lot of hands-on, interactive components for the kids. And Susan is leading that with Christy Browning. And that will be, that's downstairs in the big room? Yeah. Okay, that's downstairs in the big room, the K through 4, the big one. It's where all the mess is going to be. Just find the mess, and that's where that room will be. The game station, Clinton is leading that this year. That's going to be outside in the field. Couple things to note about that. There's going to be running. There's going to be, obviously, games, physical activity. Kids in general are encouraged to wear, like, these types of shoes. However, if they do not wear these types of shoes, they are not allowed to go barefoot out in the lawn. That is a terrible idea for a number of reasons. So you'll have to mitigate that as the station leader. You may have to adjust some activities. But it's going to be, there's a water day. Which day is that, Friday?
It's going to be on
Wednesday. Okay. So, and we'll let parents know about that. But they are allowed to wear an appropriate swimsuit or swimsuit under.
That's usually the barefoot day problem. Because a lot of them wear flip-flops, and then they can't run around in flip-flops. So if that is the case, we have to encourage them to keep the flip-flops on their feet.
And not slip out of them, which is, yeah. So Wednesday will be water day. And then our last station, we still don't have a full leader situation going on.
Sarah's going to do 2 of the days.
Okay, so if you know anybody that has 3 days next week, do we know the specific days?
Monday, Thursday, Friday? Monday, Thursday, Friday, we need a sub.
Yep. So, and music and snack station is going to be, it's going to be in here, right? Are they coming back in here for that or no?
It's all going to be in the same room.
Okay.
Yeah, in here.
Okay, perfect. So that one is, well, that's self-explanatory, but that's also a time to engage your group in discussions, because there's that time for fellowship and really connecting with the kids where they're not distracted by like an activity or a craft per se, or running around in the field. So any questions on?
There will also be these cool, like, different activities that you guys can have at your table. We'll have some things that if you guys run out of time and you just need some things to do, there will be papers at your table. We'll have tables in here. Yes.
Yeah, so this is going to be like a banquet hall, like a great hall. Well, you've got the whole plan for that, so.
Yes, so usually we have just like circles or shapes on the floor, and that's your designated spot. So this year we're actually going to have tables. So this is the banquet room. So there will be like the king's banquet table up here, and then each of you guys will have your own knights at the round table type of table with a little lantern in the middle, and I'll have your table, will have your colored tablecloth on it and your little animal. And so that's the table that you're going to come to every time. It'll be in the same spot every time. And yeah. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I think we covered it all. All right, so relationship impact. So this is highlighted, but since it's printed in black and white, you can't tell it's highlighted. But this is a very important part. We kind of already discussed this at the beginning, but I want to emphasize how important relationship building is at VBS. I know that you guys love serving with your friends, and I love that you love serving with your friends. As part of why our VBS is so powerful is because we have an amazing group of youth and parents and other volunteers that have really tight-knit community groups. And that's why it's so fun when you guys all come and serve together. I don't want to say that that's not great. Please do visit. But I want you to keep it minimal, please, because we're not here for your guys' relationships with your friends. We're here for the kids and relationship with the kids. So please, especially if you're a group leader, make sure you're putting your cell phones away. Cell phones can be, I know, they can be an awesome device if you need to chat, or if you I don't know, if you have an emergency, I really encourage you to have your cell phones on you. Like, that's the way I would contact you all at once. But I also want them to not be a hindrance. I don't want them to be a distraction when you're building these relationships with your kids. So if it's during a quiet time like truth talks or snack time or whatever, and your kids are doing the worksheets, it's not a time to pull out your phone. Okay, so use those special times to talk with kids one-on-one at your table, or use these special times to do things that maybe opportunities don't arise other places. It's not just the first second you get, either get on your phone or go take a break. Please make the most of your time here. It's only 1 week we get with these kids, and we really need to make the most of it.
When you can catch Tommy doing something good.
Yes. Or if you can use their names, because using their names is huge for kids. Like, what? She remembered my name. Or, oh my goodness, he gave me a nickname. Like, make sure you don't give nicknames that they're not going to like. Like, Tommy the Terrible would not be good. So
Tommy the Terrific is okay.
So if you give nicknames, make sure you ask permission, and make sure you do it with all of your kids, not just one specific kid. No favoritism. But if you want to give nicknames, that's totally fine as long as they are okay with it, all right? My cell phone number is on here in case you need my emergency, like you need to get a hold of me or text me, or you get sick or whatever happens. Something happens, just let me know. So that, did you want to give them yours too, or are you?
Sure, do you guys have pens? Ready? 425. We can go over this on Monday too. 951 9689.
All right, my least favorite part, emergencies. So we're just going to briefly touch on this, but mostly we will handle the emergencies. That's why we're here. That's why we'll have a station out in the foyer for you to come to if anything's happening and we need to handle it. Most of all, you're going to be the first one to, for instance, if there's an allergic reaction to something, you're going to be the first one with your kid. So the most important thing is you need to remain calm, because as soon as you start freaking out, your whole group is going to start freaking out. So make sure you're just, I know that sometimes it can be a scary thing, so just take some deep breaths. If you have an adult, every group has adults in it. So if you are not able to handle the situation, please grab the nearest adult to you, and you need to come grab us, okay? If you are an adult, or if you are handling the situation, send someone else from your group to come get us. Either way, we need to be let know what is happening. A lot of kids, if they have severe allergies like peanuts, have an EpiPen that they have to check in with us. Dehydration is the main thing that happens at VBS, especially when it's hot, which it's supposed to be next week. I'm so excited. It's not going to be rainy like this week. So it's supposed to be hot. Make sure your kids are drinking water. There will be water stations everywhere. There's some that are by the building. There's some out by the game station. There's water like in the hall. Okay, so in the fridge if you need to grab a cold one, a cold water. If you need to grab a cold water, go ahead and grab one. And make sure your kids are staying hydrated. A lot of them bring their own water bottles also.
Make sure you're staying hydrated too, because when you're just going, like, we don't want you passing out either. No bueno.
True statement. Also, if you see signs of dehydration, so this would be like if they're acting really lethargic, if their stomach's upset, or if they have a headache, if they're just acting like they're sick and they need to come in and sit with us and they haven't been drinking water, forcing them to drink cold water is a bad idea because they will just throw it up. So we need to give them some like lukewarm water. So have them come to us if they're acting sick at all. Evacuation. So if we have a fire emergency, go to the nearest parking lot. So that would mean if you're in here, if you're on the field, you're good. So if you're in here, you're going to evacuate out to that parking lot area, and you're just going to stand by your cones. So your kids are going to go where they already know they're supposed to be. So go to your cone. If you're in the portable, go to your cone up here. The only time you're going to go somewhere different is if you're downstairs in the craft science, or if you're in preschool, or if you're in nursery. So if you're downstairs at all, you're going to exit to the lower parking lot, because that's your nearest parking lot. And you're just going to use the lines, the parking lines that are furthest from the building, to line your kids up on. And the reason why they need to be lined up is because we don't want them running in the grass and getting close to the road. So the way to keep them lined up is you could easily play the distraction game. You could play Simon Says. You could do like rock, paper, scissors, whatever you want to do to try to distract them from what's going on, okay? So keep them on the line. Homesickness is another common thing, although it doesn't happen here very often because we do have such a short period of time with them. The main way to cure the homesickness disease is to use the art of distraction. So if you have a kid who is really wanting mommy, try distracting him with other things first before coming to us. So this is the only time that we'd really encourage you to try to do this on your own before coming to us. So if Tommy or Carissa is getting really homesick and really whiny, say, hey, look at this flower, Tommy or Carissa or whoever. Look how pretty this flower is. Or, hey, let's play this game. I'll play with you. Okay, so get involved. And if you can distract them, distract them. Usually that pays off. Personal safety. I mean, really, what I have to say about this is just make sure you guys are being safe. Never be on your own with a child. So there should not be a situation at all where you are just one-on-one in a place by yourselves, okay? So the only place that really this might happen is in the bathroom. So leaders are not allowed to go in the bathrooms. The only situation where this is there's an exception to the rule would be if you're working with the preschoolers and one of the preschoolers needs help. And if that is the case, you need to make sure that there are other people around. It's not just you one-on-one in the bathroom with this child. So that's why a lot of times with the preschoolers, so if you're working with the preschoolers, we encourage you guys to go all together to the bathroom as a group. Also, if you are a parent and you have your child in the preschool and they're not potty trained yet, you will be required to change their diaper or change their pull-up if that need arises, just so you're aware. All of the bathroom doors should be open at all times. Not only is this for simple reasons like we had girls putting on makeup on each other in the bathroom and hanging out in there one year, or like it could be even all the way to the door's closed, you're in there, or two kids are in there and they accuse each other of something. So we just need to be careful whether it's something simple or something extreme. So the doors always need to be propped open so that we can hear anything happening. Already talked about allergic reactions. Yes. Yes. Correct. Not in the bathroom stalls. Let me clarify. Sorry. You're allowed in the bathroom. Like if you need to talk to them or whatever in the bathroom, you're allowed in there. But like stand by the door or just protect yourself, right? Be smart. And you're not allowed in the bathroom stalls, okay? And the bathroom doors need to be remained open. Of course. You alone may go in the bathroom stall, but not with a child. All right. Good question. I did not clarify. I'm sorry. All right. Good. Thank you. LITs. So if you're an LIT, can you raise your hand really quick? Do you know? All right. We have a good handful in here. Wonderful. So LITs are leaders in training. A leader in training is an awesome kid that has come to our VBSs and now is going into serving in our VBSs, which is awesome. That's the goal, right? We want young leaders to be raised up. So we are excited to have our LITs. And they will be helping all throughout. So some are at stations, some are in groups, and if you have an LIT, they will be wearing one of these lovely LIT shirts that you see in the back. They will either be green or they will be white. So if they have LIT in big letters on the back, they are a LIT. And what this means is they cannot be left with a group on their own. So if you, for instance, if Mr. Wolotarski, because I know Mr. Wolotarski has an LIT, he cannot just leave his group with the LIT. He needs to tell Carissa, who's another leader in his color group, I'm going to run to the bathroom. Can you please keep an eye on my group for me? So the LIT is not in charge. Carissa would be in charge of that group. Very important. They are not in charge of handling intense or uncomfortable situations. So the only way that I can really describe this is if two of the kids are picking on one another during Truth Talks time, and your LIT, you say, can you go sit next to these two? And they're basically kind of the hall monitor, I guess is the way I would describe it. That's not their place. So their place isn't to sit with those children. It would be your place to show them how to sit with those children and how to help them pay attention. Does that make sense? So they're leaders in training. They're watching you lead so that they know how to handle those situations in the future. So we're not putting them with the children that are not listening because that's not their job. They can pour water. They can go grab you something. They can do lots of little jobs here and there. They can lead the group. They can carry the umbrella or the bag. They can be in charge of handing out the papers. There's lots of jobs that they could do. But make sure that they're not doing things that are uncomfortable or intense. That was the only way I could really describe it. Let's see. Also, they're not bathroom buddies. So, although it would be awesome for you to stay with your group and send your LIT to the bathroom with Tommy, they cannot go to the bathrooms on their own. So, for instance, if Mr. Wolotarski's group needs to go, someone in his group needs to go to the bathroom, he would then say, Carissa, I'm going to take so-and-so or Tommy to the bathroom, and Carissa would then be in charge of the group. All right. LITs, do you have any questions? All right. If you do later and you're too shy to speak right now, that's fine. Just let me know after, okay? Breaks. Breaks are wonderful. we need breaks. Everybody needs breaks, and that's fine. We have a wonderful break table that we will probably have in the kitchen against, so in the kitchen there's like a countertop against these windows right here that open, and we're going to have some leader snacks on that table that you can, either that or we'll have something labeled leader snacks, but that's where I believe we're going to put it. That you can go and you guys can help yourselves to, as long as you only take like one or two of one item. So like for instance, if I have a whole bucket of red vines, which I do, you're not going to take a humongous handful and then eat them all, because we want to make sure everybody gets red vines, okay? So maybe take 2 or 3. And if you go on your break, please make sure it's no more than 7 minutes. Probably make it a little bit shorter. 7 minutes is quite a long time. Go to the bathroom and go back to your group. And you only get 1 break per day. It's only a short amount of time. We're only here from 9 to noon. So you only need 1 break. You'll be fine. And clean up your mess afterwards. I'm really sorry. I feel like I'm totally taking this.
Setup was today and tomorrow. So if you have time tomorrow, we are still decorating. In case you have not noticed, we have started. I would say the bulk, but we've still got more material and more opportunities to decorate tomorrow. If you are interested in that, what time tomorrow? 10? Is it 10? Yes. 10. And then on Friday, right after VBS ends, is when it's the tragic demise of all of the decorations. And it's cleanup time. So we appreciate anybody that can stay. I believe on the initial online sign up, you could have checked it, but we are not going to say no if you did not check it, and you can stay and help clean up. Obviously, it takes a lot longer to put up, so many hands make light work. All of us can get it down a lot faster, and lunch will be provided on Friday for anybody that is coming or staying to help with that. Theme days, they're right there. Would you like me to read them to you? I could. Crazy Hair Day, I would really love to see what you all come up with that, because leaders are also encouraged to participate, just saying. Team Color Day, obviously you guys will get your team colors on Monday. So, yeah, leader shirts. I think that's where we're at. Yeah.
So just two last things. On the back, I believe, of your packet, you have something that looks like this. They're two little sheets. I really want you to practice this at home if this is something that doesn't come natural to you. So if you are a group leader, I want you guys to know there will be questions at your small group tables during snack time. So the music snack portion is going to be half music where you learn a new song and half small group where you sit down at your table and you chat over some discussion questions with your group. And these discussion questions usually will correspond to the previous day. So, for instance, if you guys talked about the breastplate, they will correspond with the breastplate from yesterday's lesson. And the reason for this is because some people start with music before they've even gone to Truth Talks that day, so it will always correspond to something previous. If you do have it after Truth Talks, there can be some discussion about Truth Talks if you want to include that as well. So the small group time does not have to be limited to the questions that are on your paper. Those are just to stir up conversation, because sometimes conversation doesn't come natural in some groups or for some leaders. So those discussion questions, you will talk with your group. And for instance, if Tommy has a question about Jesus, then you will be prepared to answer some of those questions about Jesus. And so I want to be bold, and I want you guys to know that if you are a leader, you have gone through the paperwork, and we know that you love Jesus. If you do not love Jesus, you need to let me know, because that will be a problem. Not a problem because you don't love a problem because if we're talking about Jesus, you need to be able to talk about Jesus. So this needs to be something that you're comfortable with, okay? So if Tommy has questions about believing in Jesus, or how to believe in Jesus, or can you walk me through some of these verses, you need to be prepared to be able to do those things. There will be Bibles on the table of each of your groups, and so that if you need to look up a verse, or if you want to talk about something in particular in the Bible, it will be there and available to you. Also, this is the one part that if you need to bring out your phone and you have a Bible app on your phone, you can use that as well, as long as that's what you're using it for. We also have these awesome Child of God books. So these will be at Truth Talks with Andrea and Amber. And if you want one of these, this easily walks you through the process and will be a little bit easier for you to talk through it with your child in your group. Yeah. Yes. Yes, so we will have those also at our table for you if you need them. And we also have Bibles for new believers or kids that don't have Bibles and want one. So our lovely Brenda always finds a neighbor or two that don't have Bibles of their own. And so if you do find someone who wants a Bible, please let us know. We have Bibles to give away. All right. There will be some last-minute items that I will think of, and we'll go over it on Monday morning beforehand. If you have questions, please let me know. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, live streamers, for being here. If you watched this, please respond to the email to let me know that you watched the training. I think that's it. shirts. If you are here, please go ahead and grab a shirt. We have all of our volunteer shirts. Make sure you know the difference between where you're serving. So if you're an LIT, you need an LIT shirt, not a volunteer shirt. So we're taking donation, $8 for your shirt. If you don't have $8, that does not mean you don't get a shirt. Everybody needs a shirt if you're volunteering. All right. Thanks, guys.